What do you do when you wake up on a strange island full of prehistoric beasts that can eat you alive? I'll tell you what you do. You pick yourself up off the ground, you run to the nearest tree, and you punch that tree. Punch it hard. Alright, Crotalus here, punching trees in Ark Survival Evolved. A little bit of a deviation from my previous Jurassic World Alive videos, but I'm really loving the mobile version of this Ark game. I've never played the console version, but from what I've seen, it looks like the graphics are much nicer. And of course, you have more dinosaurs, more different levels or arcs or whatever you want to call them, places to play in. But the mobile version, even though it's a little bit stripped down, I still really love it. And so this is just the first video in what I hope will be a series where I am attempting to not only survive, but eventually build some kind of a zoo, a Jurassic Park type thing with all of the prehistoric creatures on the island placed into, let's say, appropriate enclosures with things they actually existed with, and hopefully a little bit of educational information thrown in there, as I like to do. But anyway, right now we're just punching trees, hitting rocks with axes, and gathering some basic materials to complete some of these introductory quests. And these quests essentially allow you to level up almost every time you do them, and so that's pretty nice. It's a quick way to get going. So I'm gonna build my campfire here, get that going. So we're gonna lay down our campfire right over here. I'm going to kind of just build a little starter, I don't even want to call it a base, just a little starter place to have a hut and a campfire to work from for now, just to complete these quests. But we need some meat. We need some meat that will help us stay fed and keep health recovery when we need it. And unfortunately, that means that this dodo will have to make the honorable sacrifice. The noble sacrifice. Alright, noble may be taking it a little bit too far. This doesn't seem terribly noble what I'm doing right now, but it's an easy way to get meat and hide here in the beginning, killing dodos. So I shoulder all of the guilt over what I just did, and I cook up some meat from the dodos that I've killed. And while that's cooking, I am going to run off and gather some more stuff. So right now I'm trying to build my first little hut. It's not going to be fancy, it's not going to be pretty. It's going to be very easy for most even remotely dangerous creatures to come hurt it or destroy it if they want to, but this beach is a fairly safe place. Beaches in this game are generally much safer than everywhere else on the island. So setting up your first base, first place on the island or on the beach near where you spawn is never a bad idea. And I'm running in slow motion. Baywatch anybody? No, maybe not. Just getting a few more stacks of thatch and checking on the meat. We've got a good stack of cooked meat there, so now we are prepared when something, not if, but when something dangerous comes running out of that forest, as it inevitably always does at some point in time. And I get a little frustrated with the placement of buildings and stuff like this in this game for a number of reasons. We'll just see how this goes. We'll just watch this. Let's see what happens. So that looks all right. Things are snapping to the edge of that, but I can't put another one on the back of it, which is where I want it, and it just it does that. So we're going to have to just destroy this one because I can't pick up that and place a new one. So you can't pick up a lot of things, but especially floors, walls, doors, all that kind of stuff. You can't pick them up after you've placed them unless it's still within like 20 seconds of when you've laid it down and you haven't laid anything else down. Then you can still pick it up. But most of the time, after you've set something, if you decided it's not in a good place, you're going to come back and have to destroy that, and then you're only going to get half of the resources from it back. So that can get fairly expensive if you're trying to move around big, resource-intensive things like I don't know, stuff that's later in the game probably than I've even gotten would be really horrible. But even when I've gotten to building wooden houses where you're building large storage boxes and staircases and all that good stuff, it's really frustrating to only get half of the resources back when you want to move them. But anyway, that's how this works. I know people playing on computer, on PC, Ark, have a little bit of ability to do some modding that helps some of that and helps placing different building parts not be so wonky. But we do the best we can, just try to find a flat place to set up a building, and it doesn't look too bad. Alright, so I need a little bit more to be able to build a sleeping bag. Now in multiplayer online, which I'm not doing, I am doing this on single player just because it's a little bit more stable and my phone handles this much better than it handles trying to play online. But anyway, on multiplayer, the beds really just are kind of a spawn point, a place you can call your dinosaurs, your creatures back to. But in single player, you can actually pass through the night. You can pass time. So if you have a sleeping bag, which is what I'm working on right now, you're able to bypass 4 hours. And of course, it's going to drop your food and your water meter down a good bit. But it does allow you to more or less bypass the night. And even with a torch, the night can be a pain because it's so dark, obviously. And there's a lot of things. It's a lot easier to get surprised by dangerous creatures at night. So we've got everything we need now. Oops. Oh my gosh, don't look at that. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Don't pretend that didn't happen. We're just... I need to make a toilet. I haven't made a toilet yet. But okay, we're gonna place the sleeping bag and whatever just happened, it didn't happen. We're just gonna pretend it didn't happen. And the sleeping bag is made. The quest is almost finished. I'm gonna make sure that I'm well fed before I hit the hay here, because as I said, going to sleep drops your food and water meter quite a bit, and it won't even let you go to sleep if it's low enough. So you can see I'm almost full on food and water, and yet when I wake up, I will be almost starving. So, daytime again, day 2, and we are running around. We're going to kill some more dodos. And here's our first victim. Oh, wait a second. Level 29. That's pretty good. So in single player, maybe I won't kill him. In single player, dinosaurs, creatures can only get up to level 30 in the wild. So level 30, finding a level 29 creature is about as high level as you can get. And even though it's just a dodo, I may tame it. And what I'm doing right now is I'm actually looking through some of these bushes to see if I can get rock carrots, which are kind of an uncommon or rare drop. It's supposedly more common in these jungle ferns, this particular kind of plant. But it's a rare, what we would call an advanced crop that otherwise would need to be grown in a food plot, kind of farmed. But it is the best food for taming a lot of creatures, or at least it is a more preferred food. For dodos, it's the best thing you can use. And so I'm seeing if I can just get a handful of these rock carrots to tame this dodo. Now, in terms of taming, if you played Ark before, you know how this works. If you haven't, you basically, for most of these creatures, have to knock them out and then feed them some kind of food. And every time they eat, the taming effectiveness drops. Now, you'll be able to see that here in a second, but basically that's bad. And if you feed them a food they like more, it drops less. So the ideal thing is you feed them their most preferred food. It tames them not only faster, but every time they eat, they lose very little taming effectiveness. And so that's good. You want high taming effectiveness. And there's the dodo. I think he's probably recovered enough. Oh, he remembers me. Look at that. Look at that. I thought maybe all would be forgotten. He would just forgive and forget. But I think he's still a little upset about the whole axe thing, the whole hatchet thing. So anyway, now we're going to hit him in the face with a slingshot. Because unlike the hatchet, the slingshot tends to knock things out rather than kill them. And it deals torpor damage. So torpor is a stat that each creature has that dictates how easy it is to knock out. And you want to make their torpor increase until they actually get knocked out by it being high enough. And so I'm going to start slinging rocks at this critter. Like I said, he clearly remembers me, still running. And I'm out of rocks. Didn't think that one through, so I'm going to have to gather a few more rocks. I thought I had more than that. A few more stones. It shouldn't take too many stones to knock out this dodo, even though it is a level 29 dodo. For those of you who play multiplayer and know that you can find creatures up to like level 150, that may not sound like much, but in single player, 29 is pretty good. So, where did he go? Let's find our dodo here. And where is he? Oh, there he is. All right, Dodo. Prepare to get knocked out. All right, so we're going to sling a few more rocks here. And the thing I want to be careful of is I don't want to hit him more times than I need to, because that will also make taming effectiveness go down. And boom. Boom. Yes, that was the last one. All right. So you can see there he's a male. And I'm just screenshotting the stats here so I can check those out a little bit later. But I want to now actually put some food in his inventory to start taming him. That taming effectiveness is 100%, which means he will get 14 levels when he's tamed. He'll get 14 more levels. And the taming effectiveness I was talking about earlier relates to those bonus levels and some stats. But anyway, the main thing is if his taming effectiveness drops, I will get fewer levels when he actually gets tamed. He will level up less. So we want to make that drop as little as possible. I'm trying to find, I don't have very many rock carrots. I've got just a few there. I'd like to get more. But I can't let him just lay knocked out for too long because as you can see his torpor is actually decreasing, which means he is getting closer to waking up. So we're just going to go for it. Only have 2 rock carrots to give him, but that should still get him. Look at that. It got him pretty far in the taming percentage there. And the effectiveness has barely dropped. I still have 14 levels on him, so that's good. So yeah, I mean, the best you can do on single player is to get a level 30 creature and get 15 bonus levels. So really, the best you can do is to get a tame at level 45. Ours is at level 42. He got 13 bonus levels, so not too bad, even though I only had 2 of his most preferred foods. Still pretty good. He ate the berries, no big deal. And introducing our first tame creature of the game, Harvey the Dodo. So Harvey is not a terribly useful creature in himself because he is a dodo that does not lay eggs because he is not a female. So we're going to just take Harvey back, and we have to think about finding Harvey a female. But for now, I just need to get him somewhere safe because dodos are not terribly great at, as you could see, running away, and certainly not terribly great at defending themselves. And so there's a Dilophosaurus over there that I don't think I want to mess with at the moment. Not that it's super dangerous, but you know, I'm worried about Harvey. We got to get Harvey back. I keep punching him, but that's it's accidental. Just you know, that's just my way of saying hello. So we're gonna carry Harvey around this Dilophosaurus and run him back. And I promise Harvey will get a better pin later, but for now, he is just gonna hang out in the house. So there's Harvey the Dodo. And looking at Harvey's stats on Dodo decks, which is a really neat tool that allows you to see where their stats, sort of their individual stat variation is, you can see he's not terribly impressive. He has some decent weight and health there, which is decent, but you want a really high stat to be able to breed that into the next generation. But like I said earlier, he's a Dodo, it doesn't matter that much. So now I'm just getting some revenge on this Dilophosaurus that I guess didn't technically do anything to us. It's kind of a low level, so I'm not going to worry about taming it, which means that it too gets to make the noble sacrifice. In a way. Because I need the hide, I need the meat. So, thank you. Alright everybody, so thanks for watching. I know this wasn't a terribly eventful video, but hey, we got Harvey, our first creature tame, and there's our little beginning fledgling empire with a hut and a campfire. Continue watching. Feel free to check back in for the next videos, which I guarantee will have more excitement and more toothy creatures. So check back in next time for this Ark Park series.